Sir, please share your experience, wisdom, help us to have more insight about the justicing, about the justice system.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hoor. In the system of justicing, mutual discussion and deliberation is the very foundation thereof. When anyone shares one's views with the viewers, it does not mean that those views are necessarily correct or perfect. Those viewing or hearing a particular display are entitled as a right to share their views with the speaker and then decide upon by themselves whether the views are acceptable or not. Having said that, I would also add here that the views which I would always project are apolitical. That's because temperamentally I come from a family of apolitical nature. The public rigor by which I was bound as a member of the public service before elevation, it also subjected me to the rigor of rule formulation based discipline. And as I said, even temperamentally, I am of apolitical nature. My only purpose of requesting the viewers is that nothing minimizing or political in nature may be read in the views that would be considered by the viewers. As I am given to understand, the audience consists of the budding lawyers. And to repeat the oft cliched expression, they are the projectors and protectors of public interest. Friends, apart from the statutory aspect, let us also keep abreast of the other developments and need of the times. IJS, that is the All India Judicial Service, has been a fervently debated topic till some time ago. The matter has never been conclusive, but it keeps on emerging from time to time. Let us remember that before the partition of India, it was the Indian Civil Service, which was the senior most amongst the services of the crown in India. By the very nature of things, it was taken to be a legacy of the imperial period. And after the partition of the country, Article 312 was inserted by the constitution makers, which put in place a power in the parliament to have around the various all India services. It was in pursuance of exercise of that authorization that the Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, and little later, Indian Forest Service came into being. The service conditions of those services are decided upon by the competent authority. There are other services too, including the Central Secretary Service. At the same time, no All India Judicial Service came into being. It's time we apply our mind to that aspect. In fact, the Law Commission, in its 14th report, did recommend the creation of an All India Judicial Service. I would hereinafter refer to it as IJS. That recommendation had to be accepted by the government. I mean to say, it could be accepted by the government. Those are recommendations by the constitutionally constituted authority, and it is for the government of the day in the appropriate quarters to take a view on the recommendation. That recommendation came to be noticed by the Apex Court in the main judgment in the All India Judges Association case. And in the course of para 12 thereof, it observed, I quote, "We do not intend to give any particular direction on this score, particularly when the point was not seriously pressed. But we would commend to the Union of India to undertake appropriate exercise quickly so that the feasibility of implementation of the recommendation of the Law Commission may be examined expeditiously and implemented as early as possible." In spite of these observations, which were very clear in their import, a review petition came to be filed. Apart from other premises, which too were dealt with by the Honorable Apex Court, this is one of the grounds that the Apex Court could not have directed the legislature, the parliament in this case, to proceed with illegal formulation. The Apex Court invited the attention of the review petitioners therein to the observations which I have quoted a little earlier, and informed by way of the judgment that those observations did not purport to be a direction. At the same time, an identical observation made by the Apex Court ought to ideally receive a quicker and favorable concession on the part of the dispensation, the administrative dispensation. The matter was indeed taken into hand, referred to the various governments and high courts for giving their views. Many high courts and state governments are reported to have objected to the formulation of an IGS. They said it will create a language problem. Someone from the north sent to south might face a language impediment in the discharge of duty. The objection was negatived by the Apex Court, and rightly so. Please examine that there are plenty of officers from one part of the country working as members of the All India services in an extreme other part of the country. And many of them have earned laurels for their performance. Even in the state of Haryana in particular, we have had officers from the All India services who earned kudos, who earned laurels for their competent and conscientious working. One such name comes to my mind. I have no hesitation in quoting his name because he is no longer a member of the service. He quit midway and joined employment elsewhere. Mr. M.G. Devaswayam. He was reputed to be a very thoroughbred, competent, and conscientious officer. I would not name others who are still in currency because it might embarrass them or their contemporaries. The basic purpose is that language would never be an impediment in the discharge of judicial duties. Even otherwise, that aspect was clarified by the present Law Minister, Shri Ravi Shankar. He said, the country would be, for the purposes of formulation of the IGS, divided into various zones, and that adequate training would be accorded to the select candidates to familiarize them with the local language. That should, I believe, take care of apprehensions in the mind of those who feel that there would be any language impediment in the discharge of judicial duties. Let us also remember that the judicial duties would involve functioning by the judicial officers, the district judges and additional district judges, and the members of bar. Both these classes are expected to be proficient in English language, which they must have studied while studying for law.